Hey guys, we are checking hives for fall today as we prep for winter. I thought I'd show you what a hive should look like as we go through and kind of what we want to see a standard setup here in East Texas. We run 8-frame hives, so my top box, I run 2 deeps. My top box has a feeder and 7 frames. So I take out the feeder and then I pull out the frame next to it, which is going to be full of nectar. Usually in the top box, right around this time of year, you'll start seeing about 5 frames of nectar and 2 frames of brood in the center. This one has nectar in it, and you can start to see they're beginning to clear out here, and probably the queen will begin laying into that as they kind of ramp up when the fall flow begins, and the queen will be getting the winter cluster going. This frame as well, they're cleaning out. You can see where they've uncapped some of it, and they're starting to either eat or move around what's inside. This back side has got some eggs and larvae surrounded by capped honey. Then our next frame in is going to be a little bit larger brood frame. You'll see them doing this larger brood frame up top in the center, and then typically across the bottom as well. And then as we move more towards the end of October, once these bees all emerge, they'll start backfilling all of this brood with nectar. The goldenrod flow usually begins here around the end of September, early October. So they'll stock that all up once the bees emerge, and that's what they'll eat all winter long. Again, this frame here, the next one, so those center 2 frames have brood. This side has it's open eggs and larvae. They're just starting to cap it. The frame after this, let's see if it's brood or honey. Very stereotypical, looks like it's gonna be some honey. Yep, honey, but I can see they're starting to empty the frame there. And you'll notice, see this, what we would call a queen cup, there's nothing to worry about there. They tend to keep them in the hive. If it makes you feel better, you can remove it, but that's not anything bad. That's not a swarming indicator. They typically just keep those in there throughout the year. And then this last frame has nectar in it, but isn't as heavy as it could be. So I can see they're kind of, this is probably where they're moving the center nectar too. So they've got to work on that. This side, they need to work on drawing that out before winter, which you can see it's full of nurse bees. So that is exactly what they're doing. There'll probably be wax on it and drawn out the next time we check this hive. Now we'll go in the bottom box and just do a quick peek. I would expect to see frames of brood in the center of the bottom box, and then a little bit of pollen. We don't have a super strong pollen flow happening right now, but I would expect a little bit of pollen across the outside frames of the hive. So I'll take this box off, set it on the lid on the ground, then we'll check on our hive here. I'll give them a little smoke, get them out of the way. And we'll have a look at what this is like in the bottom. I even still see some drones walking around here, so they are just ready for fall. So see, they're starting to put a little pollen in there. Hopefully you can see mostly yellow and orange pollen. It's a good strong hive. There should be plenty good to make it through winter just fine. This frame, they actually, like I said, there's some drones going in here. This is a foundationless frame, so it has drone brood on it. Not a big deal. Those boys will keep the hive warm in the winter, even though they eat a little extra. The next frame has open larvae and eggs. So kind of as predicted, this is getting more towards the center. This is the 3rd frame in. Across there should be the next few frames. This is all eggs and larvae, which is great. They're looking like they'll be very ready for a good fall flow here. So this is exactly what we want to see. We don't want to have to fiddle with them much in the fall. This next frame, beautiful frame of brood. So all those bees will emerge, help make up the winter cluster as well. and raise good brood as they keep going into October, a little bit in November. Typically the queens will stop laying in early December. I usually get a lot of phone calls to see if we have queens for sale at that time. Really, that's just a time when the queen stops laying and the bees will go broodless. Another frame of brood, both sides. Exactly what we're wanting to see. They're going to be a nice, big, strong hive for fall. So I typically tell people it's not a bad thing to have 0 brood in December. It's what you want. You want her to have a break. It's a nice little break too for the mites not to be able to reproduce at that time. Another frame of brood, and you'll see there's another little cup. Let me see here. Here, no egg in it or anything, nothing to be concerned about. Just a natural occurrence within the beehives. This side is all eggs. So this is exactly what we want it to look like. We'll look at these last 2 frames, and hopefully this gives a better idea for everyone of what you should be seeing in winter. This frame looks like it is just being cleaned out. There's a little emerging cat brood, no eggs yet. So I would expect that the queen would come down this way and begin laying. This side has brood on it, so she could be around here somewhere getting ready to fill up these frames down here. And like I said, for the most part, most of the brood will be down in the bottom box as we push past September and get into October, and they'll backfill that whole top box with honey so that they can keep it stored for winter. They do that because as they go through winter, they'll move up into the top box to eat all of that honey. It helps keep it all warm. So another mostly empty frame, smidge of pollen on it. So they'll start filling all those bottom frames out. But you can see, let me see if I can show, you can see all of the bees here. There are plenty of bees in this hive. So they're going to be plenty warm all winter long and hopefully raise a good solid cluster so that they can be happy before spring. Hope this helps.